up with questions. AP Stedham with the first one.
Hey, good afternoon, Mac.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, good, Mac. Very well, thank you. Say, Mac, what have you seen from this Notre Dame secondary, and specifically their cornerbacks, how they try to take care of an elite receiver like somebody like Devontae?
Yeah, I think they do a good job, Coach Lee, with their scheme, 4 down fronts mostly, and then they try and play quarters on the back end and do a bunch of different things too. But I think the big thing is that those guys in the back end, they know where their weaknesses are, and then they also are always in the right spot. So when you play a defense like that, you got to understand that they know where they're supposed to be, and you just have to find the right holes in the defense. And obviously, they're really well coached, and they play really hard. Whenever someone's getting tackled, there's 9, 10, 11 guys around the ball. So, it just shows that they play together and they play really hard, and they're one of the top defenses in the country.
Rhea Turner with the next question.
Hi, Mac. Looking back when you first started at Alabama, you were just a backup quarterback for Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa. Now, fast forward to 2020, you're currently a Heisman candidate. Did you ever think in a million years you'd be in the position you're in right now?
Yeah, I try not to worry about future events and things like that, but really just, I did create a bunch of goals for myself, and my teammates obviously have a bunch of goals as well, and we kind of come in as a freshman group, and we had a great class, and yes, I did learn a lot from Jalen and Tua, and I definitely set goals to try and become a better player so I could help the team, and I just tried to work really hard, and obviously a lot of guys that were in my recruiting class did the same. So I think it's really showing, but at the same time, we have a lot left to write in our story, and that's going to be important this next game.
Chris Daly, go ahead.
Hey, Mac. So you've gone through a lot, flipping from Kentucky to Alabama and then having to sit behind Tua and Jalen, as just mentioned. So mentally, how gratifying is it to play in the Rose Bowl, and how are you preparing mentally for this big game?
Yeah, it's definitely a blessing. Any college football player would want to say they wanted to play in the game like the Rose Bowl and a college football playoff. So we're just really happy to be here, but at the same time, you got to kind of ask yourself if you're satisfied with just being there, or do you want to really take advantage of the opportunity? And I think all of our teammates and our coaches have decided that we just want to take advantage of where we're at, and we're finally where we want to be. And like I said, it's a great blessing, and we're just looking forward to the opportunity.
Brett Hudson, over to you.
Yeah, Mac, I was wondering if you could say something about Joe Dixon and the role that he's had in this season for you and kind of helping you reach this point.
Oh, you're talking about Coach D?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I couldn't hear you. Yeah, Coach D is a guy that I've been around for a long time, probably since I was like 8 or 9 years old. We talk almost every day on the phone or texting, and he's just a guy that, he can always help me out if I need something with my mechanics or anything with the scheme that we're doing, just because he's been around football for a long time, and he's seen a lot of good players and a lot of good coaching. So just really happy to have him there, kind of just helping me out. But at the same time, we also have great coaches here that have helped me along the way, starting with my freshman year all the way to now. So, just getting kind of that third-party outside source that I can have as like a family member type person, and Coach D has been really cool.
Peter Sampson, go ahead.
Mac, I want to ask you about Kyle Hamilton, number 14 on Notre Dame's defense. What kind of matchup problems he can create, and then as a quarterback, how important it is to identify him before every snap, and then maybe even like make sure you make eye contact with him to potentially move him around.
Yeah, that guy, he's all over the tape. You see him everywhere. He's blitzing, he's in the back end, hiding pressures and then coming or, covering people. So he's a real lengthy guy. I think he's like 6'4". You can see it on the tape. He understands football. You can tell he really studies his part, and he knows exactly what to do. And I'm just looking forward to getting a chance to go against someone like that. It's almost like an Ed Reed type person where you have to find him every play. You got to know where he is, because he can really like ruin a play for you if you're not finding that player.
Lucas Wees, over to you.
Hey, Mac, thanks for taking the time. How much has John Metchie III grown as a receiver this year? And can you describe what he's like as a teammate off the field?
Yeah, Metchie's a great guy. He wakes up early, he comes to work, I mean, he's just one of those guys that's a grinder, and he's been doing that since he's gotten here. And really this summer, I was just really happy to see him, when we're obviously in different cities, but when we were in Tuscaloosa working together, I mean, he'd wake up at 6 in the morning and come throw or whenever we wanted to throw. So it just shows that he's grown a lot too. He's kind of gotten a lot of opportunities this year, and he's done a great job, and he's a great team player. One of my favorite plays is that play last game where he kind of got the fumble back. I mean, that just shows you what type of player and competitor he is. He didn't even get the ball in that play. He ends up flipping a turnover, and then we score on the next play. So it's things like that sometimes people don't notice, and that happens all the time with a lot of players in our team. But I'm really just happy to have John, there helping us out and making plays.
Mike Rodak, you're up.
Yeah, Mac, when you think back to about a year ago and you had a couple of juniors who decided to go to the NFL, but a couple who stayed as well, with Devontae and Najee, just how much were you involved in campaigning for them to come back, and what has it meant to have them this season for you?
Yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, that's their personal decision, but obviously, when you're becoming a new quarterback at Alabama, you want to have good playmakers around you, and we have that. But at the same time, those guys came back and kind of put the we before me, and they wanted to win a national championship, and we're kind of where we want to be. And at the same time, I'm just really happy that they've kind of increased their stock or whatever you want to call it as the season's gone on, and they've just proved that you can come back and work for something and be where you want to be. So we got a little bit ways to go, but I'm really proud of those guys, and I'm just super thankful that they actually did come back, and I got a chance to play with them for a full year.
Nick Hamilton, over to you.
Good morning, Matt.
Morning.
I wanted to get your thoughts on where have you seen your progression and where have you seen your growth over the course of this season, and what have you learned from Coach Sarkisian as well that has helped you along the way?
Yeah, I think, just the season's been obviously pretty wild. Being the starting quarterback and stuff, there's a lot of pressures and things like that, but at the same time, you got to learn how to manage it and just be a good teammate and then try and be the best quarterback that you can be. And, each week there's a different challenge, so you just have to first understand what the challenge is and then figure out how you can beat that challenge. And obviously Coach Sark, you can see it on the field. He calls great plays. He's great at developing players. All the players love him. I mean, we all are behind Coach Sark 100%, and he's an aggressive play caller, and it shows on the field. And we love how he adjusts to what we're saying and telling him to. Some offensive coordinators probably don't listen to their players as much, but he definitely takes in what we tell him and what we see on the field, and then we kind of combine to come up with the game plan and even in-game adjustments.
John Feinran, you're up.
Yeah, Mac, I wonder if you could dissect some other Notre Dame defensive players, Owusu Mora and some of the other players that you've seen on film.
Yeah, Jeremiah, number 6, does a great job. I mean, the guy, obviously won the Butkus Award, and you see him on film. He can cover people. He's all over the field. I mean, he creates turnovers, causes fumbles, interceptions, all sorts of things. But I think he's kind of like the pivotal piece in the defense. But at the same time, they got great players all around. They create a lot of movement up front in the defensive line, play a lot of different guys. Linebackers are, bigger run stopper type guys, but at the same time, they're all over the field as well. And in the back end with the 4 guys in the back end, we already talked about 14. And, he's kind of the leader back there. But all those guys have played a lot of football. It's 9 seniors or something like that. So we just got to be ready. They're the top defense in the country and obviously really good on third down too. So we're just looking forward to the opportunity.
We have time for just a few more questions for Mac. Aaron Suttles, you're up.
Matt, going back to your recruitment in that class of 2017, obviously it's easy to look back now. There's so many guys in the NFL from that class. There are going to be even more going into the NFL. As you're going through your recruitment, you're meeting the guys, or even when you get to campus, what was the first moment you realized that class was special?
Yeah, I mean, I knew they were all special even before we got here at camps and stuff. I mean, all those guys, Smitty, Ruggs, Judy, throwing to them at some camps, really cool opportunity. And obviously, you can look at that class and be like, wow, right now there's a few guys in the NFL, a few guys that will be in the NFL probably next year. And it's just really cool to be a part of that class. I was kind of the second quarterback. And obviously, like we talked about earlier, I learned from Tua, and I've also learned from everybody from that class. So it's been really cool to be a part of that growth.
Dennis Dodd, go ahead.
Hey, Mac. I wonder if you could give us an idea of what the offense has faced defensively. What lengths or defenses go to try and stop you guys? Just maybe the number of defenses you've seen as defenses try to catch up.
Yeah, early in the year, I think people would try to play us how they wanted to play their defense against us. And then you kind of saw the transition as the year went on. Some people dropped 8, some people played more coverage, and then some people will try and pressure. But we kind of had answers for a little bit of everything. And it really just goes back to going against Coach Saban's defense and his philosophy. He's very multiple in his scheme, and Coach Pete and all them. So they do a good job in practice giving us different looks. But, yeah, it definitely changed as time went on. And, I mean, there was one game when the team literally dropped 8 the whole time, and you just got to take what they give you. It kind of is what it is. And it's good to go against different type of defenses like that because you get good learning experiences on tape and obviously when you're out there on the field.
Final question for Mac will be from Tyler Martin.
Hey, Mac, I know losing Landon was huge in the Florida game, but just speak to the level of your confidence with Chris Owens and what have you seen from him in practice the last few days?
Yeah, I mean, losing Landon's definitely a tough gig, but we got to kind of just bounce back, and Landon would want nothing more than us to just keep doing what we're doing, and that starts with Chris. I mean, Chris has been here for, many years, and he's also one of my close buddies that, he does a good job. He's played tackle, guard, center. I mean, we go way back years and years, so we kind of have that same communication level, and we've been working on it this week, and I've just been really proud of him and the opportunity that he's gotten. I mean, that's a great experience just to be able to say, hey, I'm starting in the college football playoff game, and I've been here for a while, so we kind of have that similar late bloom, so I'm just really excited for Chris, and we're on the same page, and we're ready to roll.
All right. Thank you,
Thanks,
Mac.
guys.
We will be bringing up Miller Forristall next. Next player we are joined with is tight end Miller Forristall. Chris Daly will open it up with questions.
Hey, Miller. So you come from a martial arts family. So how does that martial arts kind of translate onto the gridiron?
I think it was something growing up where not only my dad, but growing up with a lot of discipline, and it helped me kind of grow up as a man. A place where I got my butt kicked all the time, learned how to be tough, learned how to be disciplined and hard work. I think those are the 3 things that taught me the most.
Stephen Smith, go ahead.
Miller, of course, everybody's kind of talked about this, but what has you really confident in Chris Owens, knowing that he's been here a while, he's played a lot of football here, but what has you confident in Chris Owens getting this thing done at center?
I think, like what you just said, he's old like I am. He's played a lot of football, and just the way he's attacked this past week and a half, put his head down, gone to work. I think he's ready. I trust him. We trust him. The coaches trust him, and he's got to get the job done.
Charlie Potter, go ahead.
Hey, Miller. I just want to ask you about Jalil and his progress this season. Just what have you seen from him, and what do you think about a tight end back there returning kickoffs?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. There's not many tight ends that return kickoffs, and anytime one tight end gets love, we all get love. We all eat. So he's returning kicks, basically like me returning kicks. That's how I feel about it, at least. So, no, he's a guy that's really grown up this season. I think everybody's seen him evolve and the player he can be. You get flashes of what he can be, and if he's consistent and puts his head down, he's going to be a really good player. He's a special talent for sure.
Tyler Martin with the next question.
Hey, Miller, I'm just curious, what has this season been like you for? I know you've dealt with some injuries as well, but what has this season in 2020 meant to you?
I think whenever this season ends, it's going to be a lot of emotions for a lot of guys. We've been going since March, really, and it's been up and down, and trials and adversity, and that's going to make this season, I think, my favorite, not only because it's my last season, but the adversity that this team has had to face has made us tighter and closer and more of a team than any team I've ever been on. And that's something I'm really going to appreciate when this is all said and done.
Over to Tony Sakalas.
Yeah, Miller, you just said it was your last season. Have you given any thought to the NCAA rule that would allow you to play another season? Is that something that's kind of
Yeah, no, I've definitely thought about it. But honestly, right now we got Notre Dame in a couple days, and that's kind of where I'm focused at. Last season or not, didn't mean anything by that. I just know we're focused on Notre Dame right now, and that's kind of where our head's at. And we're just going to try and take the season in one day at a time, one game at a time. So,
Mike Rodak, go ahead.
Miller, about this time last year, there was a few juniors who left for the draft, but a couple who stayed as well, and Devontae and Najee. Just how much did you campaign for those guys to stay, and what have they meant to the team this year?
I mean, I think these guys are getting all this national recognition, and you can kind of see from a football side what they do, but you can't see from a locker room side, from a leadership side, the things that they do, and I think that's invaluable. A guy like Devontae Smith, how good he is of a leader on and off the field, and the same with Najee. Those are the things you guys don't see, but we get to see every day. And of course, I push for those guys to come back. I mean, if I stay another year, I'll push for even more guys to come back. But those guys are invaluable to our team, and them coming back, I think, has kind of set the standard for what this year is going to be. We're an old team, we're a mature team, and this is, I think, the closest team I've ever been on. So,
do we have any other questions for Miller?
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you. We'll be bringing up the next player momentarily. Wide receiver John Metchie III will be the next player. Here we are, John Metchie III. AP Stedham will start us off.
Hey, good afternoon, John. Say, John, I wanted to ask you, you're like a world traveler, born in one country, came over to another, and then you've been in a third country. So what has that meant to you to be a world traveler and be a part of the University of Alabama football team? And when did you hear that?
Good afternoon. It's been an honor. I think it's an honor to be part of the University of Alabama, and I think just all of my travels has just made me more cultured. I've got to experience a lot of different cultures, meet a lot of different people. So that's what I think of it.
Lucas Wees with the second question.
Hey, John, thanks so much for taking the time. Two-part question. First, Coach Sarkisian was in earlier just chatting about how you came into the program behind a long list of great receivers. How important was it to learn from receivers like Judy and Ruggs? And secondly, how has your play this year just inspired Canadians who are interested in playing football?
To answer the first part, I think it was a great opportunity for me last year, being behind all those receivers. I think it was a good opportunity for me to learn and take advantage of it and really see how they did things then, and just kind of sit back and learn from them. Like, who really wouldn't want that? And I think for the second part of the question, I'm not really sure how I inspire an individual person. I just really want them to be able to know that if they want to play football at the highest level, that it definitely is attainable.
Chris Daly with the next question.
Hey, John. So in the SEC championship, you made a lot of social media buzz for that hit that you had. So who taught you to tackle as a wide receiver?
I guess just as a kid playing football, you play both ways. You play offense and defense, and at the end of the day, whoever has the ball and whatever happens out there, you just have to play football. But I guess if I would give it to one person who taught me how to tackle, I'll say my brother. I'll give it to my brother Royce. My brother Royce taught me how to tackle like that.
Do we have any other questions for John? Back over to AP Stedham.
Hey, John, do you happen to know any players that are on the Notre Dame football team, and what have you seen from their secondary that gives you pause?
No, I don't. I don't personally know anybody on the Notre Dame football team, and they have a really good secondary. Their DBs are really good. Their safety is good, and they have a solid defense overall as far as their linebacking core and D linemen. So I think that's something we're excited and looking forward to do. Something that we definitely have to prepare for. Yeah.
Joseph Goodman, go ahead.
Hey, John. Random question, I guess, but did you ever at all play hockey? And if so, how was it? And why'd you choose football?
Nah, I've never played hockey. I don't think I've ever watched an actual hockey game except from maybe my little cousins. I think I watched one of his hockey games, but no, I have no knowledge of hockey. But I played football because my brothers played it when I was little, and I kind of just watched them play football, and it's just the sport that I fell in love with.
Edwin Stanton, go ahead.
Hey, John. Najee likes to call himself a member of the Rideouts, kind of jokingly. After the SEC championship game, do you think he deserves to be a member?
Oh, Naj, he's been a Rideout. They're saying this isn't any. I mean, it may be new publicly that he's a member of the Rideouts, but yeah, Naj has definitely been part of the Rideouts.
Chris Hummer, over to you.
Hey, there's a pretty decent chance Devontae becomes the first Heisman winner at wide receiver in like 30 years. For those of us a little less technically versed in what makes a wide receiver great, can you kind of explain what separates Devontae from so many other people from a technical standpoint?
I think what separates him the most from everybody is definitely just his hard work and discipline. He's an extremely disciplined person, and he works extremely hard, and also consistency. Just shows up every day and brings his best every day. So I think that's definitely the characteristics that separate him.
Tony Sakalis with the next question.
Yeah, John. Earlier this week, Nick Saban said that you were the epitome of everything you look for in a receiver. First off, what does that mean to you? And then second, to kind of piggyback off of Chris's question, just what have you learned from Devontae that will allow you to kind of be the guy next year when he moves on?
I guess that means a lot, especially coming from your head coach. That means a lot to you as a player, but also just learning from Smitty. I think just playing with him, playing alongside him, and seeing him every day, I think I'll be able to take just the focus of being able to focus on the task at hand and being able to be consistent and bringing your best every day.
That looks like all the questions we have for John Metchie. Thank you, John.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We'll be bringing up the final player, Najee Harris, momentarily. What would your walk-up song be? Are you the one that's wanting to do that, or is that Landon?
A walk-up song? I ain't never heard of that. I ain't never talked about anything about a walk-up song. Somebody left their mask up here, by the way. Right here.
We're joined with our final player of the afternoon, Najee Harris. And first question will go to Nick Hamilton.
Hey, Najee, how are you?
What's up?
I wanted to ask you, first of all, what does it mean playing in the Rose Bowl game, you being from California, and what that means? And also, you average about 6 yards a carry. So what do you have to do to be successful on Friday against this physical Notre Dame defense?
It's an honor playing in the Rose Bowl. Like you said, it's supposed to be in California, but due to the circumstances of COVID, they changed it. I love watching the Rose Bowl, so actually playing it is an honor. But back to Notre Dame, I mean, yeah, I didn't even know I averaged that, but that's not really my goal going into game. It's just doing, when my number's called, really is just performing at the best, really. So whatever that is, between passing or running, just perform and do it at a high caliber.
Chris Daly, go ahead.
Hey, Najee. So it's really inspirational how you kind of went from a homeless to now playing in the Rose Bowl, reminiscent of Jacobs, actually. So what's your relationship with Josh like, and what does this place, the University of Alabama, hold in your heart?
You said what was my relationship with Josh like?
Yeah.
Oh, Jacobs. Oh, I'm sorry. I know a couple Josh. Yeah, Josh. I was here. He was here my freshman and sophomore year. I absorbed a lot from him, Damian, and Bo. We don't really talk that much, obviously, because like he's in the league, he's doing his thing, he's busy. I'm over here at Bama, we're busy. But from what you're saying of homeless, overcame a lot at a young age. But I guess I wouldn't take any of it back because I learned from a lot of it, from financially and being grateful from the little things that I have. So I'm grateful, I guess.
Next question over to Darren Pritchett.
Najee, yesterday Ian Book was talking about your 7-on-7 days and playing together. I'm wondering what you remember about Ian's skill set and your overall impressions of the quarterback he's become at the collegiate level.
Yeah, Ian's my guy. He's been doing an amazing job in college, from freshman year all the way till now. Back in 7-on-7, we played for TNP in Sacramento. The way he dissects defenses, really, and how he throws the balls in tight pockets and stuff like that, he does a good job at it. Even now, today, he does an amazing job of getting the ball to his playmakers and really being a leader, a vocal point of his offense. And just back in 7-on-7 when we played, it was fun to play with him, and it was really just an honor.
Tony Sakalis, you're up.
Yeah, hey Najee. By the way, John Metchie invited you to be part of the rideouts earlier today. So after your performance, against Florida, were you a little bit disappointed to not be a finalist for the Heisman? And did you pay that any attention?
Back to the first question, the rideouts. First day after practice, after the game, they finally accepted me. They said, "You a rideout, Najee." So, hey, tip my hat to that. You know what I'm saying? They done let me in their room to be a rideout. But the Heisman thing, I'm not tripping at all, man. The two guys we got in there right now is good enough. I play my part when my name is called. So it really doesn't matter if I'm in the race or not. That's really it.
John Feinren, you're up.
Yeah, Najee, going back to Ian Book, he said that he actually complimented you. He said that when you needed to go one-on-one situation, you knew he could throw the ball up there and you'd come down with it. You want to comment about that? And then also talk a little bit about the Notre Dame defense that you'll be facing this Friday.
He said that? About throwing it up to me?
Yep.
It's true. That's why. You just throw it up to me and I'm going to catch that. Real stuff. But their defense is good. They got the Bucket Swarm window, of course. The secondary is really good. Their front line's good. Their linebackers is really good of attacking the run, reading out stuff. They're really, really good at really, really good, well-coached defense. High motors all across, never stop, all the way. They fight all the way through the whistle, and that's what you want in the defense, of course. And playing us, you always got to keep going and play through the whistle. And they do a good job of that. And obviously the record shows it that they're a good team all across the board. They got good players, and number 6 guys is a really good player.
Chris Hummer, over to you.
Hey Najee, how do you first of all, how do you remember the last few days of your recruitment? And then spinning off of that, what do you remember thinking about that 2017 class you were potentially going to be a part of at that time?
Potentially going to be a part of?
Yeah, at Alabama, the 2017 class that you were potentially going to be a part of when you were making your decision.
Oh, so going back to recruiting, I didn't like it. It's too much attention. It was way too much attention for me. I think I just showed up here. Hey, I just showed up. I didn't even tell them I was coming here. I just showed up. I was tired of it, man. I just popped up at the airport with Tua. And then I didn't even know really all the recruits that was here. So first day of practice, I seen all these recruits that I knew in high school. I'm looking around, I'm like, man, we actually got a pretty good recruiting class here. And I mean, obviously it showed up in the championship game freshman year, and now ever since. I think we took off. Coach Saban did a really good job of recruiting. Hopefully we get to bring one home, Natty home.
Rhea Turner, floor is yours.
Najee, what do you think your biggest challenge will be going up against Notre Dame's defense?
I'll say my biggest challenge for me personally is not getting blowed. To be honest, the last game, I mean, I barely played the fourth quarter this whole year. I probably played in maybe 3 of them, fourth quarters. So really, me getting back to my cardio and getting back to playing through 4 quarters and really not sustaining like not getting blowed. Because last game, I mean, I got to say I was blowed. It's the first time I played the fourth quarter. So really just playing through the whistle, finishing out every run, finishing out every play, blocking techniques, really being fundamentally sound, I think, is where I need to be good at for this game because they're a really well-coached team. So me being fundamentally good in all the little things, I think it's going to help me out a lot. You know, they got good players. They got a good defense. They got a good defensive front, good linebackers who can run. Like I said, number 6 is a really active player. The way he blitzes, he's not blitzing to make a move or nothing like that and to look good and flashy. He's blitzing to come with bad intentions. And that's what you want in a linebacker like that. So really just being fundamentally sound in all the little things.
We have time for just a few more. Joseph Goodman, go ahead.
Hey Najee, just wanted to say first off, it's been a joy to watch you play for the past couple of years. I wanted to ask you about your famous touchdown celebration of Megan Rapinoe, and what about her inspired you to do that? And was that just kind of a spur of the moment thing for you, or what?
Nah, man, Megan go crazy. She from California, first of all, and she listened to Nipsey. Nipsey's Nipsey Hussle, one of my favorite rappers too. So she gave a shout out to him, and then really all the stuff she stands up for, she's a feminist and how the females, how women in the world gets treated unfairly, and how they get paid different stuff than men. So she really stands up for all that. I like how she does that. Obviously, the social injustice that happened, she plays a part in all that, and for her to be a woman and saying all that stuff. It could be scary for her for being a woman in what they will say is a man's world, and her just playing a part, standing up, not listening to all the naysayers out there, and really just standing up for what she believes in. It's motivating and it's inspirational. So me as a male, I guess you could say maybe not too many males will say they look up to a woman nowadays, but I really look up to her. Just for what she does outside of sports. And I guess I gave her a shout out with a little stuff, right?
We'll wrap things up with AP Stedham.
He always laughs, ain't he, AP? He always laughs.
Hey, good afternoon, Najee. How are you doing?
What's up?
I'm good, Najee. I'm good. Say, Najee, you're wearing 22 at Alabama. A lot of legends before you have worn that number. Johnny Musso, Tony Nathan, Mark Ingram. A matter of fact, Johnny Musso said to tell you you've worn it well.
I
and he appreciates
that, man. Thank you for letting me wear it.
Yeah, Johnny. But have you ever seen those players on film or met any of them? Johnny Musso, Tony Nathan, or Mark Ingram?
I have met Mark Ingram. I think anything besides that, I would have been in California chilling. I don't know how old the people are. I'm guessing when did they play?
Yeah, Johnny Musso was a 2-time All-American, 70 and 71, and then Tony Nathan.
I wasn't even born. Come on now,
right, weren't even born. Yeah,
come on. I haven't seen him here since I've been here, but I mean, shout out to him. You feel me? What's up with it? Hopefully, I get to see you. I have not seen him. I only see Mark.
I hear you. But okay, Najee, thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Is that it?
Thank you, Najee. Right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. That will include our media availability with Alabama. We'll be back on 12/31 with head coach Nick Saban from Alabama, followed by Brian Kelly of Notre Dame at 9 o'clock on Friday, December 31st. Again, all video recordings and transcripts will be available on College Press Box and via the CFP media portal. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.